Recording.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to eXp webinar that we're doing here. We do these twice a week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Sharp and Thursdays at 2 p.m. And what we do are we try to share how eXp works, the platform, and then help agents elevate their careers, mindset, and futures through some of the core components of this eXp Realty. I've been here for 14 months. My team sold $400 million of real estate in the last 12 years, which has earned me a couple of awards and a lot of gray hair and a lot of late nights and weekends. And we have a couple different avenues for you guys to explore while you're selling real estate. If you're at any of the antiquated real estate firms, you have one lane to sell real estate, which is go as fast as you can, and hopefully you don't burn out. Hopefully you don't get sick with anything serious. And then hopefully the market doesn't do what it did in 2007. And you can save as much money as you can and make a great career, help a lot of people buy and sell real estate, and have a lot of fun in the process. With eXp, you have that lane. We actually make it a little bit of a higher speed limit. You can perform a little faster. But we also add two other lanes for you. We have lane 2, which is at eXp, we are all shareholders. So you're going to earn stock when you close your first transaction. You're going to earn stock when you go to 100% commission. You're going to earn stock when you grow your team, and you're not confined to grow it locally. You can grow it all throughout the country. And then we have lane 3, which is revenue share. So as the company brings in all of this revenue, and most of you guys have heard about eXp, we're the fastest growing real estate company in the country, you are able to expand and connect with people and create an all-star team that you were never able to do before because of the confines of where you live. So now your best friend who's in Indiana can join your team. They know people in Las Vegas or New York or Florida, and you can just grow and grow and grow and all connect, because we're one brokerage and we have one virtual office. So let me tell you how this company was originated. Glenn Sanford, brilliant guy, a tech guy, was working at Keller Williams in 2002. He started his real estate career and was able to get his team to sell $60 million a year within 4 years by connecting with consumers online. He had this notion back in 2002, which doesn't sound that long ago, but this was pretty cutting edge, that if we can connect with our clients digitally, that'll probably be the way of the future. So he believed that the company that we were working for, respectively, Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker, your own brokerage, was getting a disproportionate amount of money out of our commissions, since we were the ones that were out there ascertaining leads. So in 2009, he said, listen, let's start the first cloud-based brokerage, and he did in Bellingham, Washington, and it's called eXp Realty, and the rest of the story is happening as we speak. We have dealt with disruption in every single faction of our lives. We watched Netflix put Blockbuster out of business. Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for pennies on the dollar. Now, billions of dollars later, Blockbuster is totally obsolete. Amazon has absolutely devastated Circuit City, JCPenney, Sears, Kmart, has made Walmart change their entire business model, even though they can't shed all the employees in all of their brick and mortar stores. Walmart has really been impacted by that. Frankly, we get our TV and our music on there. I order live fish on Amazon, and they're at my house in no time. I mean, who would have thought that we'd be shopping on Amazon so organically and so intuitively like we do, right? We watched Uber and Lyft disrupt the yellow cab business. We watched Airbnb and VRBO take a lot of business away from the hotels. We watched Travelocity and Expedia kind of replace the travel agent. We've watched a lot of things happen. We connect with our friends on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn and all of these different venues that has substituted us connecting over the phone like we did 20 years ago. But real estate has been virtually the same model forever when it comes to the compensation plan. So what works out very good here with eXp is they said, listen, let's change things up. This is not another real estate company. It's nothing like what is out there. It is totally radically in a different universe. It's a one brokerage virtual real estate company that you have an avatar and you use your office anywhere you have an internet connection, and you have support teams in the virtual world to create a beautiful team environment, doing a lot of the stuff that we used to have to build on our teams or brokerages. So we have a lot to talk about. Again, we're going to talk about 3 lanes. 1, all the tools, benefits, features, everything that you need to perform as a realtor at a higher level and to be more profitable. I'm going to cover some of those slides. My colleague Barry Pulver is going to cover some of those slides, and then we're going to move to lane 2 about 12 minutes into this presentation, which is how do I earn stock at eXp. When I came over a year ago, the stock was $2.87 a share on the OTC. Everybody was laughing, saying, Rich, I mean, you know, who cares about penny stock, right? And I said, listen, it's better than an award. I can't even sell an award. It has my name on the bottom, right? So I just kept earning it and buying it at a 20% discount with 5% of my commission, another program that we have in here. And now look, 14 months later of being with the company, 15 months later now, the stock's at $13 a share on the NASDAQ currently, and it's a big deal. I just actually screenshotted and put on Facebook us in Times Square on the NASDAQ. So that's been a great little savings program. Lastly, the third part, revenue share. I came over with a team of 3, and now I have 410 agents in 11 states in my virtual brokerage. And I don't own a building, a stapler. I don't have people supporting it. It's all done in the virtual world. So we're going to kind of show you how these elements can plug into your model. So let's get straight to what realtors want to know first. Rich, what's the commissions? Well, we have no desk fees. Congratulations, right? Because our office is virtual. We are aligned with Regus, which is an executive business suite building company that has 3,000 locations throughout the United States. With eXp, because we're aligned with them early, you just show them your eXp number. You can use the business lounge for free. You get discounts on the conference room, discounts on any permanent office space. You can have your own office space and get a key man space or have a big building. We've seen eXp agents do all of it, right? We have no royalty fees, which means that when you go to 100%, it's truly 100%. And we have no franchise fees, which really the most important part of that statement is that we have no territories. We are actually the largest real estate company geographically in the United States because there's no places that we're not allowed to go into. We're in all 50 states. You don't have to worry about a territory that's too desolate to support an actual brick and mortar office. We just open up the MLS, we get our agents in there, and we sell real estate. We have agents that are probably selling real estate in Montana by horseback occasionally, right? It's all available for us. So our commission splits are an 80-20 commission split. When your 20% equates to $16,000, we call that in this business a cap. It's roughly about $2.7 million of real estate at your average 3% commission. Once you pay your $16,000 cap, you go straight to 100%. Once eXp becomes less profitable because they've given you the raise up to 100%, they implement a $250 transaction fee for the next 20 deals. After that, they reduce it to $75, and then when your anniversary year comes up again, it's repeat. If you have a team or you have a brokerage, we're launching a killer thing on Facebook today at 3:30. I don't want to miss the message, but we had a huge franchise owner come over to eXp. That's going to be today at 3:30. Marcus Steele, it's going to be on his Facebook page. Tune in. I'll share on mine. But we've had 6 different brokerages in the last 14 months that I've been part of transitioning over to eXp. And we're getting entire companies of 40, 50, 60, $70 million real estate companies that are coming in here, and they're just brokering their business by eXp, plugging into all of our platform, and now they're able to duplicate and leverage and have an exit plan for the end of their career. So when you do that, you don't have a $16,000 cap for everybody. You can come in as a team leader at a $16,000 cap and then bring your team members in at an $8,000 cap. So, right, so just earmark that. So we have a couple costs for $149. You get your startup application. You get 1,000 business cards. You get folders for your listing presentation. You get a thing called Workplace by Facebook. We're going to tell you exactly what that is. That is our eXp Facebook. It looks, feels, sounds, operates just like Facebook. Barry will get into that much more. We have SkySlope, which is where we put all of our forms, get our digital signatures, electronic signatures, all done there. We have the university where you go into your cloud campus, you go into your office, you have your broker operations department, you got your tech department, you got your digital department, you got your agent services department, you got your accounting department, your transaction team, everything that you need to be efficient, where the highest and best use of your time is out in the field selling real estate. You also have KV Core. KV Core, as my lovely friend Barry likes to compare it to the Aston Martin. I used to use the word Ferrari, but I think it's a bit more sophisticated and dependable than the Ferrari is. So we have one of the wildest CRM lead generators that's available. If you're at any firm, you can go in there and buy what used to be called conversion. Now it's KV Core, and you can buy that access to that for $6,000 to $8,000 a year with a $1,000 to $1,500 startup fee. We get that as part of our $50 tech fee per month, and that's included in your $149, right? So, and then on top of it, you have access to earn stock for what we do, and you have access to build your team. So that's all available to you in the $149. The $50 a month tech fee is a reoccurring expense every month, whether you're extraordinarily productive or you're on a sabbatical playing in the south of Spain. That $50 a month is going to come out of your account, and that covers our KV core involvement. The $35 a month eXp University is to help keep our brokerage innovative and moving forward. When I came over 14, 15 months ago, I think we were about 4,000 agents. There was about 15 full-time employees in the world, some of them licensed, to help support us, right? Because we were a small group. You can support a large group virtually. It's very easy. Look at Amazon's overhead versus Walmart's overhead, right? So now we have 300 employees at any one given time in the university to help. Many of them are licensed. Our broker in charges are in there. North Carolina, for example, had one broker in charge. Now we have 3. Right? So that $35 a month eXp University is to help growth and help be in front of it. We have a $25 broker review fee per transaction. And that's to make sure that your brokers actually go into your files in SkySlope and say, listen, here's the whole list of things that we need. They make sure every page is in there, every initial, every signature is all in there to help keep us compliant with North Carolina. We also have a transaction department that actually goes in there and reviews our files. They even do trial audits and make sure that everything is in place. Really, really cool stuff. And then lastly, we have a $40 E&O insurance. Nationally in North Carolina, it's a little cheaper. It's $30, and that caps at $500, which is about going rate for E&O insurance. So this screen is actually pretty much the basic concept of what we're going to cover over the next 15, 20 minutes. On the left side is yesterday, and unfortunately, so often, it's today. These are all your antiquated real estate companies. These are your Remaxes and your Century 21s and your Caldwell Bankers and your Keller Williams and all of these old school brick and mortar companies that are not technology companies like eXp is, that suffer from some of the same common denominators, right? They're franchises. They're not one brokerage like we are, right? They have costly overhead. You have to go lease a building and spend $15,000 a month, sometimes $15,000 a year if it's a tiny office. And then you have people that need to be in there. You have to have your own broker in charge. You need an accountant or a bookkeeper. You need somebody, some kind of assistant. And, we used to all use the office nonstop, and now we don't. For anybody who thinks that they're using the office all the time, I just say go on vacation and tell me that you're not on your cell phone the whole time. Your cell phone is your office, right? We're working on the go all the time. Actually, the most productive agents that I've ever worked with in my career, I barely ever saw at the office. It's just to do cleanup. Here we do that on SkySlope in the world with a nice glass of wine in your hand and the ocean behind you, because your office is everywhere you are. Also, if you're in one of the antiquated real estate firms, or you work for one of those currently, which we all have, right? They're good firms. They're just different. They're locally confined. You can't work with an agent that you love in another area, right? You're working with the people that live in the same neighborhood that you do, that can commute to the office, right? And commuting, by the way, is well overrated. I was on I-77 today, and I listened to my sales meeting on Bluetooth because it's virtual on my phone app for eXp. Right? I was going to an appointment. I was being more efficient, multitasking, right? Something I do a very poor job of normally. So anyway, you're locally confined at your normal offices. You have inconsistent growth incentives. Normally the persons whose name is on the sign, or the market center team leader, or one of the franchise owners, those are the people that are very, very incentivized to grow, and they're rewarded for being incentivized. The cool thing about eXp is we're all incentivized because we all have ownership in this company. Very, very exciting stuff, guys. There's nothing limited to you. Right now, whatever company that you're at, we're their retirement plan. Here at eXp, you can grow your teams, and we can all have retirement plans by expanding and expanding in such an explosive way that the next slide is going to blow your mind. And the last thing, you have limited technology and support at normal firms. Normally, your broker in charge has to compete against you. They're out in the field. They're also supporting a lot of different agents here. So it's very hard to get your answers. Here, you go right in the world. You have real-time support instantaneously. On the right, we have live training. Who does our live training? Our top producers. We have a thing called icons. They're eXp icon agents. We're going to discuss what that is in just a minute. Those are our teachers, which means that they're highly productive and they're doing tons of transactions, and their GFCI is their gross commission income is where we want ours to be. right? You don't have the best person in that little office teaching the class. You have the best person in the country on that topic that is doing it in real time teaching. We have a cloud campus environment. You have no desk fees. You can work from anywhere in the world. All of our live training, if you can't make it, they send you the email every Sunday night giving you the week ahead. When you go into the world, they have the day's calendar right there when you walk in. If you can't make it, don't worry about it. We record all the video and we put it on eXp Enterprises so you can watch it at your time. And then powerful agent ownership, we're going to get into that when we talk about stock. So let's talk about international collaboration. Our stock ticker is called EXPI. I is international. What does EXP stand for? Well, it's the first thing I asked. Nobody was able to answer it, so I finally went in the world there. And it stands for nothing. It's a prefix. They use it for expansion, experience, explode, expedite, exponential, all kinds of very cool things. This company really is not about this company. This company is about you, how to give you the tools to sell more, and how to give you an end game and a savings plan and the ability to get out of this business when you are tired, when you age out of it, when the market turns around and you're tired of swimming upstream. We're going to do things now while we're selling real estate in a great market to prepare you so you can leave. When we're dealing with our clients all the time, we're like, listen, you have to own your property. Why would you rent? Right? You need to have equity in your real estate. Well, we're renting our careers for decades, right? Here at eXp, we own our real estate, which means that when we leave, we don't leave with a box full of staplers and paper clips. We leave with actual equity in the company, with stock, with passive income, all stuff we're going to roll our sleeves up and get into in the next minute. Right? International collaboration, we do that through a couple different factions. I'm going to have Barry elaborate on what that looks like and how we collaborate together. Let's talk about growth. This is the most exciting part. We just got back from the convention a couple weeks ago. eXp Realty, when I came over in 2017, had about 4,000 agents. Now we have 15,000 agents with 3,000 agents in application. We have gone from being in a few states to all 50 states. We have gone from being in the United States to also 3 provinces in Canada. We are working on some international relationships right now that are going to bring us across the Atlantic. It is amazing. Because this is a technology firm, they had to build the technology just like Google did and Amazon and Apple and all these different companies, where you have to create the entire infrastructure before you can start inviting people to use what you're creating. Well, that explains from 2009 to 2013, it was all development, brainstorming, software, building our campus, creating our core values, figuring out exactly how this company is going to work, right? And then around 2016, 17, we started to get the biggest agents in the country. We just brought over the top agent for KW in the country. He's over here at eXp. We've got the top agent for Coldwell Banker. We've got so many teams that sell over $200 million of real estate and hundreds of transactions. They came over here because they wanted ownership. They wanted to leave the business with income. They wanted better technology, lower splits, lower caps, more mobility. They wanted to be able to build their teams across state lines and zip codes. They wanted lead generation built into the system. They wanted more. And eXp, once you hear it and see it, it's hard to unsee. So let's just talk a little bit very briefly about people that are noticing us. I don't like spending a lot of time on this topic. What happens is that when you grow so fast, we're the 5th biggest real estate company in the country. We're the fastest growing real estate company in the country. In North Carolina, there was about 120 of us last year. Nobody even heard of eXp. This year, we have 1,000 agents in North Carolina. We're going to sell $1 billion of real estate in our Charlotte MLS. That's insane. That kind of uptick. And we got our average agent in Charlotte, North Carolina right now in my team sells $6 million a year. That's way above the national average. The way that we're able to do that is by coaching, training, collaboration together, lead generation, and good education, all here for you. Trends is like the Rolling Stone of music. They have us as the Amazon of real estate. Washington Post had us the top workplace for 2017, 2018. Inman has been very interested in what we're doing, and they have a lot of good articles about us. Glassdoor, which is actually surveyed by the agents that work here, is probably a pretty good indication of how people feel when they're working here. We've been the top place to work for Glassdoor. And I think a lot of the reason is because of our core values. We have community, right? Everybody at eXp is an owner. So all boats rise with a high tide. So as we're giving referrals, we don't give referrals out to other agents anymore that are not with the firm. You give them to eXp agents. And how do you do it? Well, we do it through Workplace. We'll show you what that looks like. Fun, we actually have avatars. My avatar is 5 points better looking than I am in person, fitter, clean shaven, sounds like me, operates, walks fast, awesome. The avatar world, the virtual technology, we're going to show you what that looks like, is really, really cool. We are an agile company. We have a very, very small expense list. We built this whole thing. This company actually has almost zero debt. It's a company that is very, very, very solid from a financial standpoint. We actually show a lot of our stock as an expense because we have it earmarked ready to give to agents. So it's interesting how we have our paperwork set up. But this company is super, super strong and super profitable. I think we sold over $6 billion of real estate in the country so far this year. So we have innovation. You'll see that on the campus. Integrity. Who invites the agents over here? You do. You invite the agents. You look for the best agents. When you see all the cross sales that you've had, there's going to be a good portion of them that you say, oh my goodness, I don't think that that's a good fit. We want you to continue with that. We want you to invite the agents that are at the top of the market, that are respected, that are professional, that are not emotional in deals, that are consultants trying to help their clients. That's how eXp is grown with good quality. Service, it's immediate. If you have a question, you go in the world, you leave right there on the spot. If I have a problem with my MacBook, I go into the tech department, they hijack my computer, fix my computer, answer my question, and I'm right back into business in a few minutes afterwards. Sustainability, because our footprint is virtual and so small, they have created this thing called revenue share, which allows you to participate with the revenue of the company. Collaboration, Barry's going to talk about that. And transparency, when you're regulated by the FTC and the SEC, there's not a whole lot hidden. Everything is on Google. You can take a look at it. So I'm going to turn this over to Barry Pulver. He's going to talk to you about our support, about what our campus looks like, about our lead generation, about our education, about our infrastructure. And then I will come back and talk to you guys very briefly about lane 2, which is stock. And lane 3 is how do you earn revenue at eXp to have a passive income along with your sales. Okay, so thank you, and here's Barry.
Thank you, Rich, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, regardless of where you are in this wonderful, wonderful world of ours. So we have the pleasure, and it's an absolute joy that I get to talk to you about this as well, which I'll get to in a moment. But basically, if you were to spend 30 minutes to 40 minutes of your day today learning about an industry which has always been one-dimensional, being transformed into a second and third dimensional, it's pretty revolutionary. And that's what we get the honor of explaining here about eXp. You've already heard that we are the fastest growing real estate company in the country. Here in our small market of Lake Norman and Charlotte, we're the third biggest by volume with all the national players. There is a very obvious reason. You've heard many of the points of which Rich has brought to you, and from the realtor and the estate agent in me today to the realtor and estate agent in you, I get to have the joy of explaining what we offer from real estate agent to real estate agent. Real-time support. Again, you can get livestock delivered to your home. We're living in a day and age where if I want to watch something on TV, I'm very unlikely to put a particular time in my calendar or diary and sit and watch it. I get to go onto Netflix, I get to go onto YouTube, Hulu, whatever it is, and watch it at my convenience. We have technology, whether we like it or not, it's here to stay. So if we are embracing that in our personal lives, why on earth would we not do so in our professional lives, which will ultimately fund our personal lives? Real-time support is huge. As we're growing 15,000 agents and beyond, we have 300 full-time support staff available for 11 hours a day, Monday to Friday. Be it a West Coast-based company, our hours of operation here on the East Coast are from 9 in the morning to 8 in the evening. All of our questions answered instantaneously. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Be it, as you've heard, hardware issues, transaction, growth, finances, agent support, everything is here available when you need the answer. We do not need to make that phone call to that one agent who's busy in a meeting competing directly against us. We get the opportunity to get the answer when we need it. How refreshing. Which goes to the technology we have here with our virtual office. You've heard we have access to Regus, so we have physical office space which we can use. The wonderful thing about eXp, which you'll learn over the next 5 minutes or so with me talking with you, is that eXp is a company of choice and options and not necessity. We do not have the desk fees. We get the ability to work from anywhere in the entire world at any time. We don't have to have the office space. We have option to it. Many of us have office space which we lease by our choice. We also use the Regus space, but it's not forced upon us. It's completely out of our choice. The fact that as a company of which we are with, they don't have those expensive leases means that money that otherwise would go in at the tens, hundreds of thousands a month, a year, that money goes directly for you as the agent to support you in your business and to help your clients. Paperless because we try and do our part as a human race, of which we're very guilty of destroying the environment. It comes full circle. We try and do what we can, be it that we can work from anywhere in the world. We try and do the same and make it very, very paperless. You've already heard about the support which is available for us at any time. So it doesn't sound quite like me, but this is our world. This is eXp world. This is our cloud office. It sounds like most of you on the call, it looks like this. It is an avatar. There is a misconception that it takes some getting used to. Well, I thought the same until my 20-month-old son yesterday decided to log onto my laptop and move my little avatar. So if he can do it, I would trust you. Then trust me that anybody can do it. So this is where we get to log on from anywhere in the world. You know, we don't need to get into our car anymore. That valuable time, of which we all have only 24 hours in the day, we don't need to get into the car. We can simply open up our laptop, our phone, apps, whatever you use, we get onto the world. This is what it looks like. As you see on the right-hand side, there's our large-scale auditorium, which can hold hundreds of people for our training, for information. Which you see the smaller training rooms there just to the left. We get access to all of our support here. We have virtual office space, team collaboration, as you see in the bottom left-hand corner, another great use and resource where we can build our business and grow our business. Everything is available here, much like our lives, at our convenience. And because eXp, we are a company of choice, that is really put very firmly in front of us when it comes to our marketing and branding. For the $149 startup fee, as you heard, you get through 1,000 business cards, 10 wonderful presentation folders. So we're not entirely paperless. Again, that's your choice, as that's what we like to be known as, a company of choice. So as soon as you go through all of those, and whether you need any physical or digital brochures, open house literature, just sold, whatever it may be, however you do your business, we have hundreds of templates on eXp Enterprise where you can go through, find exactly what you want in English and in Spanish, and you download that, put your information in there, and you have the marketing material you need. As I always say, wherever you are in the world right now watching us, and we thank you for joining us once again, take a 5, 10, 15-minute drive. If you're out in the country, maybe 25, 30 minutes. Just drive around, have a look at the homes that are for sale that you are not directly selling. Let me know from the signage on there if the company, for example, Alan Tate locally, Century 21, Keller Williams, if that's the sign that's on the front and the middle, because ultimately, you know, you as the agent may have your name and number underneath, but it's the company you're in collaboration with. That is where the design and the marketing comes into play. Well, we here at eXp know that as an agent, and this is one of the most empowering things you'll learn as a real estate agent, that you as the agent are your business. If I'm looking to sell my home, it's not because you work with Keller Williams. It's not because you work with eXp. It's because you are the real estate agent that I trust to do the best job possible. Sure, we here at eXp have the great and best tools available to give you that leverage, but ultimately it's a relationship between you and I, regardless of how virtual we are. So we here at eXp understand that and say, okay, you may have your own brokerage, you may have your own marketing material, your own branding, color scheme, design. Fantastic. We don't want to change one single thing about it. All you need to do is add an eXp logo on there to show that you're proudly in business and collaboration with eXp. Nothing else needs to change. Away you go to continue your everyday business. There is a wonderful other misconception here about eXp, that it may not be for new agents. Well, I'm here to tell you that's absolutely, undeniably incorrect. When I got into the industry, I joined Keller Williams, prime example. They advertise themselves as a phenomenal training company. Truth be told, they are a very good training company. One of the reasons I joined them. We here at eXp are an exceptional training company. And I've got two reasons why that is. First and foremost, as you see here, we have over 35 hours of live training every single week without fail, growing all the time. You've already heard, to be a trainer with eXp, you need to be selling an awful lot of real estate. You need to be an icon agent, which we'll get to in more detail, but long story short, we're looking at 500,000 GCI plus, capping 20 transaction plus. So you're selling an awful lot of real estate. So you get to learn from the best of the best of the best around the country, not just our small market, from around the country and growing all the time. As North Carolina's most likely oldest millennial, I understand the importance of social media, for example. Do I like it? No. But do I understand that it's what I need to do to grow my real estate business? Yes. Okay. I understand that's on me, but I get the opportunity. My sales I have are great. My listings go under multiple offers within a day, 2 days. If I'm going to be growing my business, I need to leverage social media. I get onto the world every week, every Sunday afternoon, we get our training schedule. I look at that. I find out when the social media class is. I log on there and I see that I'm learning from someone who's generating hundreds and hundreds of leads through their social media account every single month. So I learn from the best of the best. I get to access the training. Don't need to put petrol in my car anymore. I get to simply log on my computer, my phone, laptop, tablet, whenever I want, to access the live training from right here in bed if I so desire. At the same time, we're busy. The real estate market is changing, but fortunately at eXp we're all very productive and know what we're doing. So we're very busy with meetings with clients. If I can't access the training I need to there and then, we get the opportunity from accessing the recorded session from anywhere in the world. So I get two things. I get to get training from the best of the best throughout the country, and I get to access it at my own convenience. Again, how very, very refreshing. Many of you who may have had your own brokerage, or maybe you're at a point where you're successful in your business and you're thinking of really going in that option, look at the importance of either having a building, having the staff to support that building, and more important than anything else, look at your back end office. This is where you need to have everything up and running. How do you manage your agents? How do you manage your business? Well, we here at eXp have made it more convenient than I even personally thought was possible. We have eXp Enterprise. Everything in our entire business, as you can see here, is available on one page. Again, from your phone, laptop, tablet, whatever you have, your entire business, your entire back-end office. You don't need a closing coordinator anymore. You don't need the admin. You don't need the assistant. Everything is available right here for you as part of our $50 a month technology fee. As you can see, it's your dashboard. You get everything. You know where your transactions are through SkySlope, which I'll get to in a moment. Look at where you are in your cap status, commissions, your performance, your lead generating, your marketing. Everything is available on one page. And if you have ever owned your own brokerage, you personally, I'm talking to you now, you know the cost of how much this is to set up, the time it takes to implement, to be in compliance, all of the above. We here at eXp have this with you, for you, and is part of your $50 a month technology fee. I mentioned SkySlope. Well, it's much like a dot loop or whatever transaction technology you've used before, but in my personal opinion, from using multiple ones, this is the best one available. So this is where you're going to go through every single transaction you have, again, accessible on any single device. We have DigiSign, so you can sign documents digitally and try and maintain as paperless as you can be, depending on the clients you're using and the part of the world you're in. So here, for example, every single transaction, yes, we have one state broker, we have multiple state admin as well. Everybody's here to help us on every single transaction we get, and we can view where we are with the transaction, all the documentation that's needed for compliance in your state and in your part of the world. Somebody from our state will go through every single document of every single transaction. Anything that's missing, they will let us know. Mistakes happen. We're all human. I think it would be silly to think otherwise. And we have this ongoing backwards and forwards between eXp, the company, us as the agent, then we get to closing and we get the ability to get paid that same day. Again, isn't that kind of quite nice as well? So going one step forward into community, collaboration, and growing your business. Although I don't like social media, I may be on it a little bit too much. And Facebook is normally where I spend my time. So as a vegetarian, I love seeing what you had for breakfast and lunch and dinner to get some wonderful recipe ideas, which really don't apply to me. But if I was going to spend that same time on social media or on Facebook, well, why wouldn't I do so on something called Workplace? Rich alluded to it before. Workplace is Facebook. It's the same interface. It's the same software, but it's duplicated. It's replicated, and it's solely used for eXp agents. 15,000 and growing. This is where we discuss topics, projects. We can watch a ton of videos. We can record videos. The company has its announcements here, arguably before anywhere else in the world. And most importantly, we get to grow our businesses and our company together through referrals. Whether it is in this country, whether you are sending them out, like I have, to places like Tennessee, Florida, Kentucky, or whether you are one of the first people to be answering questions in your local marketplace. This is a huge, absolutely huge source of business, which we are seeing here on a local level and on a national level, which brings me one step further to a question. If you, as a real estate agent, are happy where you are, which is wonderful, you need the tools and systems to do one of two things, quite frankly, to do the absolute best you can do in your business, do more transactions, to get more business, and to do the absolute best of what you can personally. Add to that, you need the ability to do the exact same thing for your clients. I had the pleasure of being in a mastermind international real estate discussion earlier today, where we're talking about the change of the industry around the world and how that's happening. And the discussion about this right here, KV Core, came into play. 99+% of the world did not have access to software and technology like we have here at eXp. You've already heard. So KV Core, which was a child, if you will, of Conversion and Conversions Inc. and all of the above. You know, it's top producer, and there's a ton of other pieces of software. KV Core, depending on your car preference, is really the Aston Martin of lead generation, CRM, database management, all of the above. If you heard, it's available on the open market. People are spending an awful lot of money on a monthly, yearly basis, and they are seeing a huge return on their investment. We here at eXp, along with our virtual office, get access to this for $50 a month. If you've ever wondered how people sell 3, 4, 5, 600 homes a year, it is utilizing this very software, which we have access to here at eXp. What is it? It is effectively a digital assistant who can do more than you and your assistant can honestly do together. We have 24 hours in the day. You may have 11,000 people in your database. My question to you, every number in a database is potential business. How are you able to systematically know where people are, keep in touch with 11,000 plus people on a daily, weekly basis? Well, when you have software like KV Core, which comes into play, which manages your database through behavioral technology and AI system, it's incredible. They'll know, you know, it's your reminder. This is truly your business. If you work from a sphere of influence, if you understand the importance of a relational industry like we're in, regardless of how digital we are here at eXp, KV Core is a truly revolutionary way to up your business, to help your clients to the best level possible, and then some. It gives you your own website, which I'm sure you already have with where you are, which directly connects to your local MLS real estate market. Also, it gives you the ability to know what your clients are doing, what they're looking for, help them along the way, give you a notification 20 minutes before someone's about to call you. It's almost technology that good. We're working on that. But again, this is the technology where people are selling hundreds and hundreds of homes a year, and we have access to this here for $50 a month. So real estate agent in me to real estate agent in you, again, it comes back to two questions. What are you doing, and what are the tools and systems that give you, the realtor, the ability to do more business than you have ever done before? Most importantly, even still, to do the best for your clients and your customers that you can possibly do. And this is just avenue one of a three-dimensional model. So I hope you've learned something today, and I thank you very much for being here. And with that said, we're going to change mindset just a little bit now. And I'm going to pass back to Rich Thomasini. So thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Sorry about that visual transition from us sliding seats. This doesn't sound as good as Barry, but actually the information I'm about to present to you guys is the most exciting part. So how do I earn stock from selling real estate? Well, at eXp, you get 35 shares of stock awarded to you on your first transaction, and this happens every year. You get 75 shares of stock when you cap. That means that when you go from 80%, you pay your $16,000 in, and they graduate you to 100%, you get 75 shares as a little reward. They also realize that because this company is organically growing, which has made us the fastest growing real estate company in the country, that the reason why eXp's success is so big is because of us. We're actually going out there, we're enthusiastic, we're compelled to tell all the other agents and say, hey, listen, you guys, there's a better way out there. You should take a look at this. Know what your options are. Well, when you bring an agent over to eXp, it requires some tutelage, some coaching, some mentorship, getting them applied and helping them go through the process, helping them build their avatar. You know, you have to work together in doing that, right? When you're developing other people, it takes time and energy. eXp gives you 75 shares on their first closing when you bring an agent over. Very, very exciting. Every time you directly bring an agent over, when they get their 35 shares on their first closing, you also get 75 shares. We have a thing called Icon that we've referenced twice. I've referenced it, and so has Barry. What an Icon agent is that when you get to 100% commission, if you're an overachiever or you're already running a very, very big real estate company, you can do 20 more additional transactions, and eXp is going to take the $16,000, the 20% that you paid in, and they're going to gift it back to you in stock. I mean, this is an insane thing here. We gave away, I think it was 156 Icon awards at the convention last week. When you are doing over $500,000 of gross commission income, or you are capping at the 2.7 and then doing an additional 20 transactions, you are an icon agent. You get your 16,000 back in stock. All of your equity awards, the 35, 75, and 75, and your icon agent award, that is all considered gifted stock, which means that you have to be vested with the company for 3 years in order to cash that out. It's a perpetual 3 years. So I'm a year in with the company, a little more than a year in. In 2 years, I'll get all the stock that I got at that point. The stock that I'm getting today, I'm 3 years away from being able to pull that out and cash that out. Now, if you do want immediate stock, we have a thing called the Agent Equity Program. You can enroll in this model and you can do one transaction or all your transactions or just earmark the ones that you can afford to. And you can put your 5% of your commission and buy the stock at a 20% discount. It's a very, very exciting thing. So I'll give you just a real quick testimonial part because I'm always kind of a see it, feel it. I got to know somebody who's doing it versus just the concept of it. I came over here and I was able to acquire about 6,000 shares of stock in the last 14 months for selling real estate. I had my first transaction at every company I worked at, for capping, which normally happens to me in about 5 or 6 weeks, and for bringing agents over. When I brought agents over on my team, I didn't get anything. Here at eXp, I've been able to be rewarded for that. And what that has actually done is that I brought over almost 40 agents directly. That has turned into over 400 agents nationally. So on the agents that I brought over directly, I've been able to get stock on their first transaction the whole 14 months that we've been here. Pretty exciting. The last slide here actually is going to be just for a few of you guys on the phone call. For everybody who is interested in coming over here and selling real estate and earning stock, the presentation is over. Thank you for being so responsible and keeping your attention span open for 40 minutes. This last slide is only for the people who are pretty entrepreneurial. This is for anybody who has a stirring part of their spirit where they want to be the name on the sign and not the person building someone else's end game. eXp has this referral program. We call it revenue share, right? Most agents like referrals, right? So what happens is eXp says, listen, when you grow and you coach somebody throughout their career, and most eXp agents, our retention is amazing. It's a national low. We are in a single-digit attrition percentage here, where we have agents staying because we're owners. There's nowhere to graduate once you're an owner, you know. So what happens is they say, listen, when you bring an agent over and you help them, we'll take the $16,000 that you paid in and we'll divvy it up into 7 separate tiers. Tier 1 is every single agent that you personally introduce the model to, help, coach, and train, and support as they go through their eXp careers. Tier 2 through 7 are all the agents that these people bring along that are indirect to you, but still in your virtual team. Okay? So what happens is that you get a 3.5% referral on every transaction as the people that you bring over start to cap. So I'll use Barry as an example, one, because he's 3 feet away, and 2, because this is a true story, is I brought Barry over here, and Barry started selling houses right away. How many, would you have 3 or 4 closings the first 40 days that you were here? So he was starting to cap very, very quickly, right? So if he had a $10,000 commission, eXp gave Barry $8,000, right? Because he's on an 80-20 on his, when you start your anniversary year. The 20% that they kept, which would be $2,000, they took 3.5% of the total gross commission, the $10,000, and paid me $350 or 3.5% out of their $2,000 share. So it never negatively impacts Barry. eXp says, listen, guys, we don't have all of those obsolete expenses, so we can afford to give you a referral on it that's off the gross revenue, not off the profit, off the gross. So I get a $350 check when he has a $10,000 commission, and I get that, and it gets wired into my account, considered revenue share, on the 22nd of every month, like clockwork. Okay, absolutely more consistent than Jeopardy's on at 7 or 7:30 is your revenue share, the 22nd, and that happens for every agent that you bring over to eXp all throughout the 2 countries that we're in. Okay, so 3.5% every time. As that 3.5% builds up and it hits $2,800, that means that they capped. $2,800 means that the person that you brought over paid their $16,000 and now they go to 100%, which in turn means there's no more money to recycle with you, right? Because you get paid along their journey to cap. So I can make up to $2,800 on Barry as he closes his real estate transactions in his anniversary year. And then if Barry doesn't close, I still get the referral, the 3.5% into what number that ends up being. But if he hits 2.7 and he goes to 100%, then it stops at $2,800. So my next question was, well, how often does that happen? Well, it happens every year. So we actually have a thing called residual income coming in when we grow our teams. Pretty incredible process, right? Residual income currently is not selling your real estate team. Nobody's buying that anymore. Okay, there's no exit plan, right? You have to save millions of dollars to maintain the salaries that we're making when we're pretty proficient in this business, right? So now I've got a little bit of revenue share. I have $2,800 times, almost 40 people that I can earn as they sell real estate. And I only really went after agents that were selling real estate. So this is a common occurrence. When you get 5 agents on your team, they say, listen, congratulations for having 5 agents that you brought over. Now we're going to pay you on all the people they brought over. And that is 4% up to $3,200 per year. Once you have 5 people here, they allow you to get paid on all the people that those 5 people brought. So for me, I brought over almost 40 people, and they brought over 125 people, more or less right now. I think I'm 124 or 125 level 2s. Now, 125 people times $3,200 per person is a pretty lucrative ownership stake in this company. So they said, Rich, even better than that. When you get 10 agents on your first tier, people that you've introduced and brought over, keep in mind, when they're on my first tier, I directly talk to them cross sales, their friends, their competitors. Some of the best agents that I've competed against on many listings at nights and on weekends are now, we're working together. We're on the same team, right? So what happens is that when I bring them over, they have their first closing, they get 35 shares of stock, I get 75 shares. And then as they cap, I get $28 per agent. When I have 10 of those, eXp said, we're going to allow you now to get paid on people that are in tier 3. So I bring over Barry brings over Sue brings over Jack. I can now get paid on Jack 2.5% commission of his gross commission, or up to $2,000. And it happens on the 22nd of every month, like clockwork. Well, as you can see, this happens 7 times. This is how someone like me, who's never been a professional recruiter, I never worked for Keller Williams. I frankly worked for the last big family-owned real estate company in Lake Norman because I like the term family-owned. I used to work with my dad, and now my mom works as my buyer's agent. So it's been an odd run of it. But family-owned seemed to be kind of a little bit of a warmer touch here. Well, I was working there, and I was paying over $100,000 a year in commission. Now here at eXp, I'm able to make revenue share and stock and sell at a much leaner split. And the difference between last year of what I paid to Lake Norman Realty to what I made this year is more than 6 figures across the board. I have 400 agents right now, over 400 agents, and I'm able to make revenue share on 6 of the 7 tiers because I have, I think officially I have 39 people over here. So until I have 40, I'll unlock all the people that the 6th tier brought over as the 7. This is called revenue share. This is just a referral network for people who are going to grow the company. It's by participation only. If you brought over a company of 1,000 agents and you only had brought over 2 other agents, you would get paid on the 3 agents that you brought over, but you wouldn't get paid on all the other ones. So eXp is benefiting by supporting all of this large group of people and giving them all the tools. But if you unlock this ability to open up the groups of people that came from the groups of people that came from the groups of people that came over, then you start building passive income that starts to compound in ways that you don't. So right now, my team is growing about 50 people per month passively. And I'm in states right now, I'm in 11 states, and I've only left North Carolina, I think 3 times this year, right? So I am connecting with people in the world. I'm connecting with them at the April shareholder meeting. I'm connecting with them at the convention, which we have in October, just had it in New Orleans. I'm connecting with them at reward trips. I'm connecting with them on Zoom calls twice a week. I am on the phone, on text. We are all staying interconnected in the digital world that we work in. So this is the whole presentation here. We ran 50 minutes, a little longer than normal, but we want to be thorough about this last category. So you have lane 1, sell real estate. Here's all the tools. Lane 2, earn stock. You don't have to do anything but sell real estate. And lane 3 is build a legacy. Build something that, and this is inheritable, by the way. I have a 2-year-old son and my wife is in her first trimester again. I can will this to my kids. This is build a brokerage that's going to allow you to exit the real estate with some passive income or tons of passive income or more income than you've ever made in your life. It's all up to you, but you have an equal playing field and you don't even have to write a check. You don't have to go buy a franchise. You don't have to ask eXp if they're using any more owners. You have to sell your first house and you are a shareholder. You can go buy the stock now. You can buy 5% of it on your commissions at a 20% discount. You can acquire it all through stock, or you can grow the business and try to earn your $16,000 back by expanding your virtual team throughout 2 countries right now. So thank you so much. We have 14 people still left on this phone call here that are with us. Feel free. This is an anonymous thing, the Zoom call, which is very cool because you can black out your screen. You can just put your phone number. You can put any name that you want. But it allows you to see the presentation in privacy, able to be digested. We record these, so we're happy to send you the recordings of these. But if anyone has any questions at this point, just feel free to unmute your mic, and we will be ready to rock and roll. And thanks for your attention span for this last hour. All right. Normally people are pretty shy before they jump in. But so listen, the most important thing here, someone invited you to this Zoom call. That's who you need to circle back to. If you're on this call right now with Mike Costigan or Holly Evans or Eve or any of these people that I'm recognizing their names right here, they invited you to this webinar, circle back out with them. They'll answer your questions. I'll jump in and answer questions together. We are here to answer anything that you want. You don't have to do it in this public forum. Okay?